Hello, my name is Elaine Thomas, and I'm going to be bringing you every single week information about the youth sector, along with guest speakers and also some top tips. So if you are a parent, a youth worker or youth practitioner, or if you are a young person, I would like you to join in with this show. So I promised you that every single Tuesday would be here live for you. And here we are. So let me give you a little bit of information about myself. First of all, what I think I'll do is kind of just give you an overview by showing you a little bit of what we've done on YouTube. So for those of you who know the Mentoring Lab already, you know the work that I've been doing across the years. You will know that we've been we have been developing a youth mentoring platform, digital youth mentoring platform for many, many years now. And guess what? We're ready to launch, all right? So I'm just going to share my screen and I'm going to show you a little bit more about what we've been doing. So let's go and have a look at what we've been doing. So if you want to call in, you can do. We've got the office phone right here, and the telephone number we're going to put on the screen. But for those of you who know the Mentoring Lab number, it's the same. It's the office mobile, or you can just call 07412640174. Here you go. All right, so can you see this screen? I hope so. This is the Mentoring for Youth platform. Okay, this is the Mentoring for Youth YouTube platform. As you can see on here, we've got lots of videos that goes into what Mentoring for Youth is about, how mentors from all over the globe can join, and really how great it is to be a youth mentor, and how you can be a youth mentor on the youth mentoring platform, so that you've got your governance covered, you've got your safeguarding covered, you've got your vetting, you become a trusted youth mentor. And for those of you parents, if we have any parents watching, please do listen. Come back later. I know you're probably scrolling up and down, but come back later, because we'll be giving you information on how you can sign up your child. Okay, but for now, let me give a little bit about why I started Mentoring for Youth. So we're in the picture. Okay, fantastic. So let me stop sharing this screen. For those of you who are on the LinkedIn, nice to be with you. For those of you who are, let me come back here. For those of you who are watching on one of the other social media platforms, hello to you as well. My name, once again, is Elaine Thomas, and I'm the founder CEO of the Mentoring Lab. Okay, I am going to be speaking today about a couple of things, but first of all I want to give some value. So I can see that we're live on the LinkedIn, so hello for those of you who are watching. We've got a couple of people watching. Let me pause the screen sharing and let me go to this next page that I want to share with you. All right, so I'm going to give the call-in number again. It's 07418. No, it's 07412 07412 640 174. 07412 640 174. Okay. All right, so we've got a guest joining us today. His name is Sam. We've got a guest joining us today. His name is Ishmael. Please forgive me. His name is Ishmael, and he's the founder of the Salam Project, based in Manchester, but also covering London as well. Ishmael is a brother who for example, in Jamaica, we have something called a JP, which is a Justice of Peace. A JP in Jamaica, and sorry for examples constantly, right? But in Jamaica, we have something called a JP, and the JP is somebody who everybody knows in the community. There's somebody who you go to if you need to find something out, or if you need information, or you need help with documents being created for you to make progression. And he is our UK version of the Jamaican JP. So I said all of that just to introduce Ishmael, who is the founder of the Salam Project. So Ishmael is going to be coming in at 6:30, just in 20 minutes. But before I do that, I want to give you guys some value. So for whoever's watching, and I can see that we are on YouTube. We are also on the Instagram as well. Let me just see. Hopefully we're on the Instagram. If not, don't worry. We're on the LinkedIn. So what I'm going to do is give anybody watching some value. So many people at the moment who have a not-for-profit need some guidance, some information. They need some advice on how they can get funding, how they can improve their funding application forms. That was definitely me. I was in that situation where I needed help, and I actually found a fantastic, I'm going to call him an elder, okay, who has set up this website, which is called Charity Excellence. Now, I hope you can see this online. I hope you can see it online because it's got registered now. I wonder if we can bypass that. Okay, I'm going to have to log in. So hopefully you're not going to see loads of things on here. But basically what you will see, right, is, so this is like a dummy account that I created. Hopefully you'll be able to see what is on my screen, and if not, then I'm definitely going to need some help here, aren't I? So let me share screen again, and hopefully you'll be able to see the entire screen. Yep, you were able to see that. So what we got here is the Charity Excellent account, okay, and you've got a dashboard, and you've also got, if I can show you, a funding finder. Okay, so in this funding finder you can search for lots of different grants that are available in the country or the city that you're from, and for, obviously, you can see different types of organizations as well. So look, I'm BAME, which is global majority. So let me search to see if there's any BAME funding that's available here in London or in the UK. And as you can see here, there's loads. Now, the thing is, it's all right to know about these funders. Once you find out about the funders, what you then need is someone to write your funding application forms, right? You need someone to find that funding application form. But hopefully, this page here, that is charityexcellence.co.uk, hopefully it will give you a really, really good start in understanding what funders for specifically targeted at the global majority community are asking for. Okay. All right, fantastic. So just want to give you some value. Okay, so this is Charity Excellence again, and it's the funding finder page. You have to set up an account when you go in, but it's charityexcellence.co.uk. All right, let me stop share. Okay, cool. Earlier on, I showed you a video of mentoring for youth and why I set up mentoring for youth. But what I haven't done is taking you to the website. Now, if you're watching this, right, the website that I'm about to show you is in beta stage. So you're not going to see a full-fledged, completed website. But what you will see, okay, is the efforts that myself, Benedicta, Claire, also many young people who have helped us and they've consulted for us have put into creating this website. Okay, so as you go onto the home page, you'll see that we're covering loads of different topics within the youth mentoring sector, mainly looking at I wonder if you guys can still see this if I put it like this. So mainly looking, there you go, mainly looking at academic mentoring, employability skills, and how we can support young people as they progress in their career. We're also looking at things like career mentoring, entrepreneurship, social skills, obviously study skills. Many young people don't know how to study yet. I don't know if you've realised that, but they don't know how to study. So we look at study skills and revision techniques, and then also going into more serious topics such as school exclusions, progression mentoring. We've got an element here for healing, and within healing, we're actually looking at how a young person can find a safe space for them to speak about issues that they're going through, problems that they have. So we've actually got many amazing graduates in psychology and counselling who are within this. Now, even though they're graduates within counselling and psychology, they are still going to be offering youth mentoring. We are not going to be offering counselling per se, but they will be offering youth mentoring, but they have a deeper understanding of trauma-informed practices. They won't be mixing practices, but they do have a fantastic knowledge of trauma-informed approaches. We also, of course, is going to be looking at growth mindset and developing young people's growth mindset. Okay, so what I want to do here is show you one of our youth mentors, and then we're going to prepare for Ishmael from the Salam project into the live call. All right, so let's go and choose a mentor. So if you go to choose a mentor, you can see we've got loads of images coming, but as you go down, you'll see that we have profiles up and ready. Okay, we've got mentors from all over the globe. Okay, we've got Zimbabwe, we've got Finland here, Zimbabwe here, we've got Britain, and also, but he's also Spanish. We've got Kenya, we've got mentors from South Africa, we have Tanzania, and South Africa. We also have, for example, Daniel, who's one of our expert mentors. He's British, but he's currently based in Jamaica. He lives in Jamaica, and he's also Ghanaian, so that's a bit of a mix, right? Then we also have, as you can see down here, Maria. So we've got lots of mentors onboarding. We're currently in beta stage, but the reason why I'm telling you this is because parents, you need to jump on board. If you know of a parent who's looking for a youth mentor, we have got so many youth mentors that we have recruited, vetted. We've onboarded them to make sure that they have their all their safeguarding documents and due diligence. You know how it is. All of their safeguarding due diligence intact. And then also we train them up in youth mentoring as a practice. So I want to show you Elif here. Okay, this is Elif's profile. And I'm just going to play her video for you guys to hear. Hi. Okay, so that was Elif, and she is from Finland, but as you can hear, she's also Turkish, and she also can speak multiple languages as well. So if you want to take a look, you can go to www.mentoringforyouth.com. So let me try and put that in the chat for you. So it's www.mentoringforyouth.com. Okay. All right. So as we go on, we're preparing for Ishmaeli to come in. All right, we're waiting for Ishmaeli to come in, and I'm gonna show you the Salam project. Okay, and yes, all of this is live, and everything I'm doing is like right now. So let me show you this website. Let's introduce Ishmael. Okay, so here's the Salam project website. Once again, a Black-led community website based in Manchester. They do youth work projects, mentorship, and also workshops. They work with young offenders. They also work with young people who are at risk, whether they are a young offender or not. They work with so many communities across the UK, and I cannot speak highly enough about the Salam Project. So I'm going to play their promo video as we wait for Ismail to join us. Okay, fantastic. Ismail will be coming into the studio soon, and then when I'm speaking about the studio, I'm not speaking about here physically here with me. I'm speaking about online. For those of you who don't know, I've got background in radio, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been missing radio for so long. I think it's been about 10 years since I've been on radio, and I really wanted to come back. So I'm hoping that these call-ins, these live call-ins are going to become popular, and it's going to become the go-to for youth practitioners, youth mentors. We didn't want to do podcasts because we feel like there's a lot of issues which are timely, whereby it's not about us editing the footage to go out for likes. It's just about us giving over the information and sharing the information with yourselves and with others. So one example of that is speaking about what's going on around the country and also around the world. So right now we're here in the UK. I'm here in the UK and I'm focused on the UK at the moment. So we'll speak about things like the National Youth Strategy or the Children and Wellbeing Bill, which is currently being proposed. It's a proposed bill. Many people are speaking as though it's actually out. It's a new law that corporate parenting is going to be taken over the UK, and that parents who have children who are homeschooled, or parents who have children who are looked after or seen as in need by social services are going to be at risk of having their children taken away with them, kind of like old style social work. It's not the case. What we need to really do is remember, number one, that is, first of all, it's not in law. it literally is in the House of Lords at the moment, and they're doing a report on the bill. And then when it does come out, we will all be informed about the impact that it will have on parents. So I just want to give you just a little bit of updates now on the children and the children's well-being, and actually schools bill. So it's changed a little bit. The title's going to keep changing, but I want to speak about how it's going to impact schools and also impact parents, and let you guys know what it means. So I'm taking this information from the Department for Education. They've got an education hub. Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to share the page. So if anybody wants to check it out for themselves, you can. This isn't about me holding on to information, right? This is about us sharing the information. So, okay, what you're going to see here is a website called Education Hub. Education Hub is one of the blog pages for the Department of Education here in the UK. So the information I'm getting here, it's not from an influencer site. It's not even from the local authority. It's from the government itself. So as you can see here, here's some things that parents need to know. Now this bill, if you see here, is a proposal for a new law and a new set of laws. So it's not out yet. And it says there's a proposal for new laws that is presented for debate before Parliament. The laws proposed under the Children and Wellbeing and Schools Bill will make important changes to protect children and improve education. Okay, it says that the bill focuses on making sure that no child falls through the gap between different services and that families can get help when they need it. So it's going to affect education in some ways. So first of all, there's going to be more emphasis on teacher training, looking at providing higher quality training. Hopefully they're going to be putting youth mentoring or mentoring training for young people in schools within that. And as part of the bill, new teachers in state primary and also secondary school will need to have qualified teacher status or be working towards it. Now we think that is the case now, but there's still some state schools that have teachers working there that don't have qualified teacher status. Some of them might be training up. Okay. All right. So here it says paying conditions. The bill helps to continue to attract and retain the best teachers. Are you aware that loads of teachers have left the educational system here in the UK and that they've gone overseas? Now this wave of, like, I'll call it the teachers exodus, like teachers leaving the UK and going to different places, has started from as far back as like 2005, 2006, but no one's really spoken about it. So we have loads of teachers that are moving out of the UK to teach or do jobs elsewhere. And then we also have influx of teachers coming in from different countries whose level of teaching is fantastic. But because they get paid lower than UK trained, UK citizen teachers, they won't spend long times here. So they will also move on. Right? If any of you kind of know about the teachers of Jamaican background who were protesting about their lower level of pay, then you will understand some of these issues. Okay, I'm going to continue. So here you can see that within this blog on the Education Hub, which is an education hub for the Department of Education, you'll see that they are trying to strengthen the curriculum. Now, the curriculum has been under review for some time now. You can see here, there's a link to the curriculum and assessment review. Now, I'm not here to read this whole blog for you. I just want you to highlight it, because if you are a youth practitioner or you're a parent, you should be aware of, this should be helpful for you to be able to navigate what decisions you need to make for yourself and for the people that you support. Here it says here school places, they're trying to work better to ensure that there are enough school places in schools for children, and that children can get a place quickly and they don't have to wait for sometimes a year or 2 years. And we know that is the case a lot with young people who have special educational needs or disabilities. Okay. Flexibility to act on failing schools. Now this is an interesting one, because the government says they're going to, if this bill is passed through Parliament, then they're also going to introduce greater flexibility to intervene in failing schools. So what does this mean? This means that parents, this is really important, parents, if you have a complaint about a school, complain formally, like make a formal complaint. Make a formal complaint to the school so that they can make the improvements before Ofsted come in and do their assessments and then deem the school to be needing improvements and then being poor. I think they've changed some of their standards at the moment, but when you make a complaint about the school, it doesn't have to be a negative experience. If we're going to speak for a minute, let me stop sharing this right now, right? If we're going to talk about schools and us making complaints to schools as parents or as people supporting parents, we have to remember that making a complaint doesn't have to be a negative experience. When you make a complaint, once you have a good and healthy amount of evidence about how your child is being treated or is missing out on education or is not being supported or something is going on. If you do it earlier, you nip the issue in the bud, but also it takes away your level of stress and anxiety. All right. So it's really important that parents make complaints earlier on when you've got enough evidence. Don't wait until you've got a mountain of evidence. And also the way you make your complaint is really important. So your first initial complaint should be in an email to the school following the school's complaint procedure. Okay? It should be in an email to the school following the school's complaint procedure. Now, I'm going to put the telephone number here because I realise it's not there. Many parents wait until the last minute or when things are really bad to make a complaint about a school, and then you've got all the emotions that are really, really high. So even as youth practitioners, people supporting parents, it's really, really important that we encourage parents to write down what their issues are. To write down what their issues are, like get it off their chest, read the school complaints procedure. Every school has their complaints procedure on their website, and then to email the complaint over to make sure that you are heard. Because what tends to happen is that we just complain to our friends, to the children, or to ourselves, like out loud. All right, so that is a really, really important one. Ishmael is going to be coming in soon. I just need to bring him into the studio, and I think he is here. Ishmael, are you with us?
Yes, hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Fantastic. It's so nice to have you here. Let me bring you in.
Likewise.
Ishmael, I did a little introduction for you earlier, and I showed everybody your website. So that's the Salon Project website.
Oh, thank you.
No, you're welcome. If you can please
Yes.
tell us more about what you do. So right now on the call we have Ishmael, who is the founder of the Salon Project. the Salon Project works with young people across the UK, particularly in Manchester and also London. But actually, you
Yeah.
can just say that the Salon Project covers the whole of the UK,
Maybe.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and what they do is support young people who are either young offenders or at risk of offending, or young people who need support and guidance. All right. So
Yes. Yes.
have I missed anything out?
No, you've been too kind. But to be fair, is predominantly and mainly um London and Manchester. Yeah.
London
So
and Manchester.
when people come to me with other areas, I refer them to other people. So if someone contacts me in Bristol, I refer them to a brother called Clayton who runs from the street to the boardroom. If someone
Okay.
contacts me in Birmingham, I recommend them to Learning Curve, Raymond Douglas. If someone and so on and so on and so on. So yes, mainly London and Manchester.
Okay, that's fantastic. So Ishmael, can you tell us a bit more about your background and how you came to set up the Salon Project?
Thank you. Good question. Yes. Hi, everyone. Basically, originally, I used to work in banking. I used to work for NatWest Bank, um, and then I worked for the Royal Bank of Scotland. Then the Royal Bank of Scotland brought NatWest Bank, so I went back to NatWest Bank when it was under the Royal Bank of Scotland. Um, then my nephew got caught up in a gang, and his mother, who's my oldest sister, had my spare key. I came home from work one day, ready to watch the Champions League game after work in the bank, and I saw my sister sitting in my front room with my nephew with two suitcases. And she said, I can't have him in my house no more. He's a pain in the backside. He's gonna stay with you. And she walked out of my flat. So he had to live with me for like a year. And by him living with me, that got me into youth work by default.
So you weren't planning to get into youth work.
No, I
You
had
were
no
in
plans to
banking.
get into youth work. There was
Oh
a youth
wow.
worker that I know, and Raki knows him as well. His name's Dawood. He used to come to me and say to me, "You need to get into youth work," because he used to invite me to do talks. So
Yeah.
he used to say, "Bro, you need to get into youth work," and I said, "I ain't got no time for no youth work. I ain't got no time for that. I got money to make." So yeah, so basically yes. So then that's how I got into youth work. So my nephew had to come and live with me. That got me into youth work. And then not only that, there were some people that I knew, um, who I grew up with at the time,
Mhm.
and and their either younger brothers who were getting involved in issues,
Mhm.
and then they would call me. They said, "Oh, could you come and talk to them?"
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's how I got involved first. So when my nephew, he was okay, he wasn't perfect. Then he went back to live with his mum, and then when he went back to live with his mum, my sister, around 6 months later, he got he done something silly like joyriding, and he ended up in prison. So
Mm.
I used to go and visit him once a month. And he was telling me that all of his friends that I saw him grow up with in the schools that he went to, the nurseries and so forth, how they all doing robberies and things like
Wow.
that. So he said, when they come out, can I send them to you so you could help them? And that's what happened. So my nephew sent them my way. So I would either have to get them a job, help get them some training. There was an organization in because this I'm from Northwest London at the time. I was living in just in London. There's an organization called Urban Futures.
Yeah.
So so I used to organize community poetry jams in Harlesden. I
Okay.
used to organize rap competitions, and then I would invite like an ex-gangster to come and give a talk about their journey.
The way you just said you live by an ex-gangster.
Yeah, so I found someone introduced me to someone who was an ex-Crip from LA,
Oh,
California.
oh, literally. Was that Oh, how can I forget his name? Please forgive me because he passed away a few years ago.
No, not him. Not Tookie.
You
There's
know,
a guy called is now he lives in Nottingham. His
okay,
name's AJ.
AJ.
So
Okay,
someone introduced me to him. Say, look, this guy's an ex-Crip, and
okay.
he wants to do talks. And I found someone who was an ex-Blood.
Oh
And he
wow.
said, oh, you're talking about Twilight Bay. No, not Twilight Bay. Not
Okay,
Twilight Bay.
yeah, Twilight Bay.
No, I
Oh,
did try to get him, but we could never coordinate the right time. So that's why someone took me to meet this AJ, and there was another guy called MD. from South London, and one was an ex-Crip, one was an ex-Blood. So I said, look, I'm looking to organise something in Harlesden. Can you come and just come and give a talk?
Okay.
So I would organise for them to give a talk.
Okay.
So because they were ex-Bloods and ex-Crips, and a lot of young people were fascinated with the Bloods and the Crips.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys that were coming were young people. So
Okay.
unknown to me at the time, some of the people that used to attend were undercover police,
Oh wow.
and some of the people that were attending were some of the senior officials of Brent Council. But I never knew. I only found out years later. So what happened was,
Wait.
um,
Sorry. Pause. Pause for a second.
yeah,
Some of the people that were attending the workshops were undercover police.
yes,
Is that because you were a Muslim organization, or was that because they just wanted like intel and what was going on the streets?
both, both. What it was, there was a gang based in Harlesden, and they were robbing crack dealers. Okay, so they were like vigilantes. So
Yeah.
they were Muslims, they were Afro-Caribbean Muslims that were robbing crack dealers, and
Wow.
they were yeah, they were like Robin Hood. But
Wow.
one time when they went to rob some crack dealers, they harmed some undercover police.
Oh no.
So
Okay.
they were being watched.
Okay.
And those people used to come to the workshops I used to do.
Oh wow.
So I never knew at the time. So then what happened was that I had a lovely volunteer. Her name is Nasima. She used to
Yeah.
volunteer for me. And
Yeah.
then there was another guy who came. I assumed he was a parent or an older sibling. And then they started dating. And then one day, this was after like a year or so, she took me aside and said, look, Ishmael, I need to tell you something. I said, what is it? He said, I'm getting engaged to this man here. And then she punched him and she said, you gotta tell him. I said, tell me what? Oh, I'm an undercover policeman. Basically, I've been coming to your thing. I said, you've been coming here from the beginning. He said, yeah. I thought you were so and so's older brother. He said, no, 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 no. He's my cousin. So he's an undercover policeman. And basically, he told me, so that was one. And then there was a second undercover policeman that used to attend. But when he used to attend, I never knew who he was. He would call me 2 days later, said, hi, from a withheld number. Hi, my name is Inspector so and so. I came to your workshop a few days ago. He would give me pointers, the positives, the negatives, and give me feedback. So anyway, so the one who was engaged to one of my volunteers, he told me he wanted to leave the police and come and work with me. So I was a bit skeptical at the time.
Yeah. You
And
would.
then he said, look, I got to go to Kenya to do some charity work. Then I'm going to leave the police and come and work with you. And then, without me knowing, both of the undercover police that used to attend, they recommended me to the council. So someone from the head of the council came in. Um, um,
Wow.
Mr. Hack, he came. He never introduced himself to me. He just came, looked, and he walked. And then after like maybe the sixth or seventh time, he said, "Look, I need you to come and work in these schools. I
Okay.
need you to work in these schools because none of my youth workers want to work in these schools." So I
Okay.
said, "Look, I work in a bank." He said, "Look, can we do something where you go part time and we'll pay you?" So I'm thinking these guys are wasting my time because I was doing this self-funded. I wasn't funded at the time.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
said, "How much is it gonna cost?" So I just gave him a figure, thinking they're not gonna do it. He said, "Okay, give me your bank details."
Okay.
So and then he said,
You're valued. You're highly valued right from the beginning.
"Yeah." So that was not even. It wasn't even planned. I was just doing it thing. And then they got me to work in 3 or 4 schools in Brent. And
Okay.
then and then what happened was there were some people that used to attend because some of the guys that were attending were ex-offenders. There were
Yeah.
some people that were attending that were from Wormwood Scrubs and what's
Yeah.
the youth prison Feltham. So
Yeah.
they used to come and invite me to come and do things in Feltham and
Yeah.
Scrubs.
Wow.
And then I teamed up with an organization called Unlimited. And then they started to say, you know what, it's good giving talks, but you need to do workshops. So then they started to train me on how to deliver workshops, how to do things, how to be sustainable.
So how long ago was this?
This was 16 years ago.
And you're still in it. You're still doing it.
Yeah, strangely enough, yeah,
Okay. Wow.
yeah.
I'm really, really impressed by how you got. I always thought that you. I've heard this story before. I've heard not this story like it's just, like it's not real, but I've heard this before. But I always thought that you actually wanted to get into the youth sector. So what I can say is thank you so much for the sacrifices that you've made, because you could still be in banking making a whole heap of money.
No, no, yeah. Well, sometimes I ain't gonna lie, I do get tempted thinking, you know what, Chuff, forget this. Let me go back into banking, man. So, but yeah, this is more. This is much more rewarding and is much needed. And what it never stops, and you learn a lot of things. So just to clarify, so the work that I do, sometimes if it is gang intervention, some
Yeah.
of it is anti-extremism,
Okay.
and some of it is just plain youth engagement as well. So it's
Okay.
a mix, and then some of it is ex-offender resettlement engagement. So it's spanned across those four things:
Okay.
resettlement, youth engagement, anti-extremism, and gang intervention, and also helping young people into work training and employment. Because, like I said, there was an organization called Urban Futures. They
Yeah.
used to attend, and then they used to pay me to
Yeah.
refer some young people to their courses. So they had CSCS courses, SIA courses,
The CSCS,
fitness.
for anyone that's listening, is the kind of like qualification or the accreditation that you need to work on construction sites.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was, it was so helpful. So sometimes you come across people who come out of prison or not wanting what to do, and
Yeah.
then I would send them to Urban Futures, and
Yeah.
then they would fit them up with a good course. And so
Wow.
it was a win-win. And then they would pay me when they finished the course. So it was like a win-win. And then but now they went under. So now I do that in partnership with an organization called Employment Education Training Group. A
Oh, one
brother called
second.
Pierre, who
Employment.
hopefully one day I'll introduce you to him. Oh, I
Yeah.
think I did. Pierre.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Yeah. You did. You absolutely.
Yes, I do that with Pierre now.
Wow. So tell us what you're doing now, and then would really like to um, hear more about what's going on now for young people.
Oh,
So tell us like the services that you offer or the support that you offer,
okay.
and then we'll move into if you say.
Okay. At the moment now, I do a niche mentoring program. I don't really promote it and push it a lot. It's mainly I normally get calls from parents or local authorities. So I've got a mentoring project that I'm running with 5 mentors
Yeah.
based in London.
Okay.
That's a mentoring project.
Okay.
And then in Manchester, we're doing an anti-extremism project where we're going into African and Afro-Caribbean mosques and delivering workshops around anti-extremism, and we're calling it Tatism and incel culture around the adolescence,
What does that mean?
misogyny,
Did you
extremism.
say? Did you say? Oh, Tatism. Sorry, you mean Tate?
Yeah, I call it Tatism. So the
Actually, Tate.
disrespect of women. So we're doing a
Yeah.
project like that in Manchester,
Okay.
and then I'm doing a um
Sorry, can you pause on that bit? Do you know so many people think that this mindset and that what Tate speaks about is actually from Islam? They think it's Islamic
yeah,
rituals.
terrible.
So that's really good. I'm glad that you're doing that. Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, because as you know, these are the things that he was preaching before he embraced Islam.
Yeah.
But even though he's still preaching not all of it, but most of it still now. So like you said, people think it's okay, it's part of Islam. But now
Yeah.
there's a lot of Muslim people speaking out against him, but
Yeah.
it's not really seen.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. I'm
Okay.
doing that in partnership with a brilliant organization based in Manchester called the TAP Project. They're like an African community focused project.
Okay.
A brother called Otis Thomas, he's the
Okay.
founder, he's one of the co-founders. Another project I'm doing in Manchester is that we're going into prisons and we're delivering employability skills workshops.
In
Because
prison.
there's a lot of our young people, when they go to prisons and when they come out, they don't know how to apply for a job. They don't
Mm,
know how to write a CV. They
yeah.
don't know how to conduct themselves in a job interview. They
Mm,
don't know where to go. So that's the workshop that we deliver. Say, look, this is how you do your CV. This is how you conduct yourself in an interview. These are the places that you could go to for either jobs, for courses, for training, for apprenticeships, and here you could go for work experience. So we're doing that at a few prisons in Manchester,
Can I
and
can I can I ask
and
you a question?
yeah, go on.
Sorry, before you go on, can I ask? Is before you go, can you speak about how young people or even adults who have a conviction, what they can say to the employer about
Yes.
conviction. So carry on. I just kind of want
Yeah.
to.
And then the final project we're doing is the one with the Employment Education Training Group. So they've got a selection of courses in digital skills, accredited courses in digital skills, CSCS card, um, health and social care, personal fitness and gym training. So we're referring people, whether they're long-term unemployed, age 16 to 30, ex-offenders and so forth, to their courses. It's
Okay.
mainly those are the four projects doing. And then we got another project we're working on, it's not 100% yet, where we're trying to do things for converts to Islam because
Okay.
there's not enough support for them. So, but the other projects we're doing is for everyone.
Okay. So up on the screen, you those of you who are watching should be able to see the Employment Education Training Group website.
Yes. Yeah.
It's eetgroup.co.uk.
Yes, they're very good.
eetgroup.co.uk.
So some of their courses are done digitally, online, and some of their courses are done face to face. So
Okay. Amazing.
yeah, because you could talk to someone who's selling drugs about stop selling drugs, stop selling drugs. They're not going to listen unless we show them alternative ways of making money.
Mhm,
So yeah,
mhm. Thank you for that. Thank you
that's
so
all
much
right.
for that. So now it would be really great to hear more about what issues are going on right now in the what phone calls do you often get from
Oh,
parents? What is like hot topic at the moment? And let's see if we can kind of discuss some solutions and signpost like
yeah.
different organisations. Yeah.
I, I would say a lot of the phone calls I'm getting are there's a big issue around some young people. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to go school. Of course, this is not all, but I'm getting a lot of parents calling me about this, whereby their son or daughter don't want to go school, don't want to go college, don't want to go work. I just want to stay at home, smoke weed, and play computer games all day.
So they're demotivated.
Demotivated,
They've got no hope.
and no hope, no sense of aspirations. So I would say is are like 20% of the calls that I get. And they're on the verge of kicking them out the house because they're thinking this is the only way to get them motivated.
To kick them out so they can learn what real life is about.
Yeah. And unfortunately, what I'm learning is the reason why some of them are looking to kick them out is because it sometimes can affect their benefits if they're not doing nothing. So when they go into the job center for their update on what they're doing, and if they don't attend those meetings, it affects the family's benefits.
It
So
affects the
that's a big
family
issue.
benefits.
Pardon?
It affects the family's
Yeah,
benefits.
the household benefits. Yeah,
Oh wow.
that's one. Then the
Okay.
second one, there's a big issue around young boys being released from football academies.
Yes, this is a massive issue.
This is a massive issue.
Massive.
So boys who've been released from football academies were sold a dream. They've been released. They're 15, 16, 17, and they're in, I would say not all, but a lot of them are in like mid depression.
Yes. No, I wouldn't say mid depression. I would say they're depressed.
Yes,
And
yes,
it's so strange how the football associations and the clubs just literally just leave them.
yeah,
They're like,
left them.
you're not meeting the standard. I got this report from school that maybe there's been an incident at school. You're not turning up on time. Like they're not giving grace to the fact that some young people just need time to get it together,
Yeah,
and then they just
yeah. So I was doing a project with the Jason Roberts Foundation,
okay.
whereby when people would come to me about this, we're gonna restart it again soon, but we
Please
have
do,
to put it on pause.
please do.
Because yeah, some other things have happened. So when people used to come to us saying, "Oh, my son's been released" or whatever, we would try and get them opportunities in lower league clubs. So if they got released from Arsenal or Tottenham or Man United or Man City, we say, "Look, because you were there, you could go to a lower league team like Leighton Orient." And if not, if it's, as in some cases, sometimes people they got released because they're injured. So we can say, okay, if you're injured, there's other opportunities in football, i.e., to become a football agent, a
Yeah,
football coach, a
yeah,
physio,
yeah.
to try to show other jobs and vocations. and
Yeah.
that sometimes that could take a whole day to
Yeah.
try to say to them, look, if you love football, which I understand, but if you can't play no more or you lost, there's other vocations in football where you can make some money.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's one of the saddest things that I see, because so many young people from the age of like 6 years old really want to be a footballer, and they, when they don't make it, the level of depression, you really do
Yeah,
feel hopeless. And I've seen it within the mentoring lab as well.
yeah. This is
It
a
is
big
very
thing.
sad, because what you
Yeah,
need to do is wait for them to get. Obviously, you can signpost them to different support services, mental health and counselling and all that. But at that stage, and because of the stigma that's attached to it, some
yeah,
young people won't even access it. So to have someone like you,
yeah,
who's hasn't got that title of counsellor, but also you're trauma informed, you know
yeah,
how to take it easy, you know how to use, like, create safe spaces, safe talking spaces, is really important for young people that won't access counselling.
yeah. So that's another big one. And then the third one is it's hard for young people to get jobs. What this is another thing, because I'm this now these are young people. Not all of them are naughty or bad. Some of them are good young people. They're at college, they're at university, and or sometimes at some of them at school. They're in year 11. They're finding it very hard. They're finding it very hard to get a job. So sometimes, so
When
that is a big one.
the thing is, the jobs are out there. It's the looking, it's preparing for
Yes,
the jobs that are out there and then finding them. You have to start preparing for the jobs from.
I would say year 10.
I would say year 9,
Yeah, even that. Yeah, year
because
9. Yeah,
so in year 9, the young people, they choose their GCSE choices, and some of them
yeah,
are just picking what they like. You have to be more strategic with the you know with the the GCSE choices that they have. And then you've got year 10, where you've got to prepare for, you've got to learn how to study, you've got to learn how to revise.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
in fact, by year 10, really, you should know how to study and revise. And so many young
yeah,
people don't. They don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. But as you know, but what it is sometimes, someone who's at college, they or at school, they're good at school, but they just want some money so they could not bother their parents. So they get the latest designer clothes, so they're willing to work. Like okay, when I was young, I used to do a paper round. So because
Yes.
I thought to myself,
Yeah.
you know what? I don't want to bother my parents, and
Yeah, it's true.
I don't want to wear Adidas one stripe extra anymore. I want to buy my own Adidas. So I used to go and do. I used to do a paper and buy my own Adidas. So
It's so
so when they're telling me this, I said I understand, but it's very hard. It's not as easy as before. So I try to encourage them. Like, look, you could do online. If you know social media, there's many businesses out there that will pay you to
yeah,
help promote them on social
yeah,
media.
yeah. I just,
So
I would really like us to go through some solutions now, just in case we've got anybody that's
yeah.
watching. So we have here Ishmael from the um, Salam Project, which is a youth organisation that supports young people who are offenders or ex-offenders, young people who are on probation, young people who are involved with the youth offending team, or young people who are at risk of that. And Ismail kindly has joined us today. You can hear his beautiful family in the background. Assalamu alaikum to your family.
Yeah, Walaikum salam.
um, but
Sorry.
so we no, don't worry at all. This is realities of the work we do. We community. This is it.
Yeah.
So one thing. So the first like issue that is around at the moment is that young people who are on benefits, feeling hopeless, not knowing really what to do with their situation, and some parents are throwing the child out
Mm.
because that child being at home is impacting the household benefits,
Yes.
which is putting the young people at risk. And I know what it's like. We come from so many communities are like, we love to practice hard love.
Yeah. And yeah, and that thing I mentioned, this is in every community. Is it happening in the black community, Asian community, Arab community, white community, everyone? I get
This is one of the impacts of the rise of the cost of living that
Yeah,
people won't see unless you're talking to community folk like yourself. Oh, by
yeah.
the way, Ishmael, I likened you to a JP in Jamaica. You know the Justice of Peace that we have in Jamaica?
Oh
We
my
have a
gosh.
Justice of Peace, like the person that everyone goes to. That you're our Justice of Peace.
I
Ishmael.
wish, I wish, I wish, I wish.
Ishmael is the go-to. He
I
is the
try to.
go-to.
I try to. But I'm learning from people like you, a brilliant guy called Otis Thomas, my friend Rakim, and many other people. Brother and Davis Williams is a great
Oh,
inspiration as
Davis
well.
Williams is the Neo of
Yeah, he's the Neo. Davis Williams is Neo.
yeah.
And my kids keep me in check as well.
So speaking about benefits, so with this issue of young people who are on benefits but they're not moving forward, they're really demotivated. I'm telling you, that is the time that you need to search for a youth mentoring organisation. If you've got a young person if you've got a child in your house or you're working with a young person and you through conversation and giving them time, you haven't been able to motivate them, you need to bring the experts in. Really,
Yes,
you need to get the
yes.
experts in because we know how to talk with young people, we know how to speak with them differently than parents.
Mm.
So the way that we speak to our children is not necessarily the way that we'll speak to your child, right?
Yes, true.
Because we're youth practitioners, we're professionals in what we do. So really do try and find a youth mentoring organisation. I'll tell you what, a lot of people find, I don't know about you, Ishmael, but we get a lot of people calling us because they found us on chat GPT, mentioned us.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
just go on chat and ask for a local youth mentoring organisation. I cannot
Yes.
rate youth mentoring organisations highly enough. We are
Yeah.
um, we're I wouldn't say we're underused sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely under resourced.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have the right resources within all the areas, like literally within every ward in the country would have a youth mentoring organisation that can support a
Yes.
young person, and that's what I really want to see in every
Yes.
single ward.
Yeah. But and to be transparent with you, one of my intentions, and I think I said this to you, is like I said, I only do small niche mentoring, but like if it's from parents that I know and work with.
Yeah,
But my intention is when other people come to me to refer them to your organization. Sorry, a bit of family drama here. Family drama. Yeah, sorry about this, people. Yeah, so to hopefully refer people to your organization because I think it's important that sometimes people try to take on too much. You could only take on what you can take on, but
yeah,
then try to refer to other people. So I refer to hopefully to your organization, to Manhood Academy. I refer as well.
amazing.
There's only so much one person, or a few people can do because alhamdulillah, look, even like in my team now. So there's a brother. He's been diagnosed with cancer. One's got a back issue. He had an accident. Other one's just got married. So it's very stretched. You understand?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, as we continue, and then we'll wrap up. So, Ishmael spoke about three issues that he's seeing that are prevalent in communities at the moment, and that is young people just kind of at home, sitting back. They're on benefits. They're not doing anything. They're not motivated. They can't find work. Now, this is not necessarily their fault. They're hopeless, right? They can't see hope.
Yeah.
Can't see a way out. Please get the experts in. Go onto ChatGPT. Find a youth mentoring organisation that's in your area. Contact Ishmael at the bottom, so you can see his website there along the screen, or you can contact the Mentoring Lab. We've also got Manhood Academy Global. There's also Urban Synergy. Oh my gosh, there's mentoring organisations across the whole of the UK. I can't mention them all.
Look at that.
Whatever area you're from, look into that. What the approach that you really need to use is about allowing them to feel safe and then share what it is that they're struggling with or what's going on from their perspective. And that takes time. It really does take expertise to be able to do that. Sometimes as parents or youth practitioners, we go in too hard and we go in like the way that I'm talking now. We talk too much. We don't listen enough. So please do get the experts in. Right, the next issue that Ishmael spoke about was young people being released and let go. from football clubs. So Ishmael, what's the solution here? You've got a young person, they're depressed. They didn't make the cut. They thought they were going to be a football star. They're at home. They're not doing football no more. They're not going to be a footballer. Well, it seems like they're not going to be a footballer. They're like, in their head, they've either failed or they feel like someone's done them something wrong.
Yeah. What I normally do is I show them examples of people who got released and they now play non-league football.
Okay, because
So whereby they play,
can still get
because
some money.
non-league players, they still get paid. Of course, they're not getting paid the same as a Premiership player, but they do get paid hundreds of
Yeah,
pounds if they're good. They
yeah.
could get £100 or £200 a week, and then that's like a stepping stone. And then we encourage them to get some training, i.e., in coaching, and show
Okay.
them there's money in coaching as well. So whether it's coaching or being a football agent or being a physio, show them there's other things within the football industry of being a football
Referee,
consultant, a
referee.
referee, being a scout,
Oh
um,
yeah, football scout.
even going into management.
Yes.
There's, and especially now, there's many more opportunities. And also another thing I've been doing is try to show people there's opportunities abroad, especially if the young person has played for a team like Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, Man United, Man City. There's opportunities abroad. When I say abroad, that doesn't have to be too far, but even places like Scotland, places like Malta, places like France, Lithuania. And there's opportunities there because people, all those people, they want UK-based players.
That
So there's
is so.
yeah, just show there's opportunities that don't just
I didn't even think
broaden your
of that.
horizons.
Broaden your horizons. I really hope someone's watching this and values what you just said. And on the screen right now, I'm just showing a website called footballcareers.com
Brilliant, yeah.
where you can get careers within football. So that's footballcareers.com. Ishmaeli, so it's so true. There's so many countries out there that want footballers.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah.
I
So
know
there's
it's not
if you
easy.
check as well, there's an organization that what I'm trying to do is I'll be straight with you because I used to do work in partnership with the Jason Roberts Foundation doing this.
Mhm,
Then the project was put on pause.
mhm.
But now then there's an organization called Football Jobs, but it's FUTBOL Jobs, one word. And they've got a website with jobs in the football industry worldwide.
Wow.
So they said they want to partner. So I'm just trying to find a way of bringing them together with the Jason Roberts Foundation and put it together. So when we meet these people in the future, we say, look, there's these opportunities abroad because they said that they, even though they've got a what's it called, a membership system where you have to pay, they said the people that I recommend, the first 20 don't have to pay.
Wow.
So yeah,
They've got training on here, they've got scholarships,
everything.
they've got different offers. This is amazing. So it's football, FUTBOL
Yeah.
jobs.com, right?
And they got training jobs, they got coaching jobs, they got referee jobs, they got physio jobs, they got football agent jobs, they got which I never knew. Of course, but football teams they need graphic
Yeah,
designers,
yeah,
football
yeah,
teams they need customer service,
yeah, they
all
do.
different type of football jobs
Yeah.
within the football industry is on this website.
We forget as well, like they need HR. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
HR,
They need legal team. They
legal team,
I'm like once,
telesales,
yeah, they need it all.
everything.
They need it all. I would say, in fact, I would say, if you're a young person, you want the big money, and you still want to stay in football, go and study law.
Yeah,
Go and study
ooh,
law
yeah,
and be like a sports lawyer or something like that.
yeah,
Like go
yeah,
and help people read their contracts so they know what they're signing. Go and
exactly.
do that, and then do some Saturday club with the kids then at the weekend. But because I know one of the motivators within football is the money, is the income.
Yeah,
Kids
true.
can really help out their families. All right, we're moving on to the last one, and then we've got we're going to say goodbye to Ishmael so that he can get on with his beloved family. And that is the job searching. Young people not being able to find jobs. They're finding it hard to find work.
Yes.
Can you speak about the prep stage, how young people can prepare for jobs so that
Yeah.
when they are at a stage where they are in need of an income, they're ready, they're set? and it'll find you.
I always say to young people, find someone within your family,
Yeah.
because I'm a big believer in 6 degrees of separation.
Okay.
So I believe that if people could find someone within their family
Yeah.
or close family network
Yeah.
who has a business
Yeah.
or has a charity,
Okay.
and to do some work experience for them. So, for example, um, I know someone. uh, She's I got a relative. She's a cousin. She's my cousin.
Mhm.
She's a hairdresser. She does
Mhm.
hairdressing. She does barbering. She does hair. She does the beauty thing. The makeup thing and everything like that. So when girls come to me in London say, "Look, I want to get into this," I send them go and do work experience with my cousin.
Okay.
If you're good, she'll recommend you to places where you can go and work. But you have to go. She has to see you in action. You got to turn up on time. You got to do the
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
learn. If you
Yeah.
show good work ethic, good
Yeah.
attitude, she'll help you out.
Mhm.
So I'm of the opinion, as a solution, we
Mhm.
need to find a way to get our businesses from our communities to
Mhm.
give work experience to our young people. So if they're given work experience, this will build up their confidence and say,
100%.
okay, let's give them work experience, and then later on they could get paid work. So, for example, we was organized something in Manchester, the Greater Manchester Black Tech Fest. We done it in
Yeah.
partnership with like 7 other organizations.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So there was loads of graduates that who came. They all got out merits, distinctions in IT, computer science, but none of them got jobs. So I
Mm.
said to them, "How many of you have done work experience
Mm.
in your field?" None of them put up their hands. I said,
Wow.
"How could?" So you have to understand, you're not only competing against everyone else for a job, you're competing with the general manager's cousin, his nephew, his niece, who's just coming out of uni. Who's he going to give the job to? His nephew or niece or you?
It's
So
true.
you need to have work experience on your CV. You can't say you're applying for this and you got McDonald's on your CV. Don't Nothing wrong with McDonald's. Don't get me wrong. Don't have
McDonald's was one of my first jobs. Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
McDonald's.
but if you're doing customer service, McDonald's is one of the
But can
best.
I tell you what?
But
I
if I'm
actually
applying for
I got the job
yeah,
because somebody really close to me was the manager of the store, so that's the reason why I got the job.
see that's see that you got a friend. So if our young people, I'm of the opinion that our young people, hopefully when they decide on what they want to do, they need to do work experience in that field, even if it's one day a week, half a day a week, just
Yeah,
so they can say I worked here for 6 months. They don't need to know if it's half a day a week or 1 hour a week.
yeah,
So when you apply for a job, it's on your CV. I work six
yeah,
months for this organization. What's
yeah.
happening is a lot of people are going to jobs with their CVs with no work experience and with a distinction. So every company is going to take someone with work experience over just the qualification. Because
It's
if you
so
got the
true.
work experience with the qualification, you're a king.
You know, it's so interesting because when we've worked with young people, we've been doing it for a long time. Like, I've been working with young people for over 20 years. I know I only look
Oh,
25 myself, but it's actually 25 years. 25 years. So, one thing I've heard young people say again and again and again is like, slavery's over. I'm not working
yes.
for free. And when it comes to, the work experience time, when they
Mm.
were at schools, so lots of schools don't do work experience like that anymore,
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of schools don't do it now.
right?
A lot
So
of schools don't do it now.
parents, when your child hits 13, start looking for somewhere where they can do work experience when they're 14.
Yes.
Don't leave it until they're 14, 15, 16. It doesn't matter if it's auntie shop in Ridley Market. It doesn't matter if it's like your community centre. It doesn't matter if it's just like, those local shops where they just go in and they kind of you can
Yeah.
a good one, right? Not too dodgy shop,
Yeah.
right? And not a vape shop. Like just get them work experience somewhere. It could even be babysitting. Oh my gosh,
Babysitting, and
time
we're
can
living in a
so
time now where they don't even have to leave their home. So my daughter, for example,
that's
what
true.
she was doing for work experience, she done social media management for this organization. She just set up their Facebook, their Instagram, their TikTok, and she would be uploading stuff every month. And that was
Yeah.
her work experience.
That was her work experience. I think we've really, I'm really hoping that there's parents that are watching this, that this just hits home, because you could have a young person now that's 13 and 14. You find the work experience. Don't leave it to the school. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because if you, if you don't want your child to end up being the one that does work experience in the school or at the primary school connected to the school, because
Yeah.
all the other opportunities are gone, like, you go into your network, and I know how we like to be in our community. Some of us just like to keep ourselves to ourselves. We don't really have conversations with others. But please,
Yes.
please, please reach out to your community to get them work experience. Please, please,
Yes.
please do. This has been really good, Ishmael.
Yeah,
Like,
this is nice. I'm enjoying this. Yeah, definitely. And that's what I'm really pushing for, guys, because sometimes parents, we forget. We've got a cousins. We might have a cousin who has a mechanics. We might
yeah,
have a friend
yeah,
who runs a pharmacy. We might have a friend who what's that helpline center. And we might
yeah,
have children that want to get into counseling. Okay, let me speak to my friend who runs a helpline center, get
yeah,
them in there. And I understand when
yeah,
they say slavery is done, I'm not working for free. But what they have to understand is when you go into the, because I do some work with an interfaith organization, they
yeah.
called Faiths Forum. At
Okay.
first, when they approached me, I never really wanted to work with them. I saw it as geeky work, no disrespect. But what it is, working with them has opened my eyes, because from them, I've been working with some of the Jewish community, some Christian communities, and some other religious communities. In the Jewish community, once a young person licks 13, 14, they're working for one of their family's businesses, whether it's an accountancy, whether it's a shop, whether
Brother,
it's online marketing, and sometimes they're just doing basic work experience. But because they understand that work experience is very powerful,
very
so
powerful.
we should be
Shapes
learning from that.
character.
So parents need to take a hand. We have to be supporting our kids. If we can't give our kids work experience, we have
No
to
one.
find people within our families. Because look, we all know someone who's a plumber. We all know
Yeah,
someone who's a plasterer. We all know someone who buys and sells clothes. We all know
yeah.
a hairdresser. We all know
Oh,
a
yeah.
barber.
Yeah, we all know someone's got a restaurant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we know someone's got a Caribbean takeaway, a restaurant.
Yeah.
So you're trying to say we can't go to one of those people and ask them to give work experience to our kids?
Do you know what? Can I tell you a story before you go? Because we've got Zainab who's going to be joining us next. Assalamu alaikum, Zainab. Please just
Oh,
give us a second. There, I've got, this is quite a sad story, but there, we had a parent who had called in the community because her young person was um, at risk to the point where police were involved. They were thinking about relocating him to another country because things were really going on. You know, when you can kind of see where you can see the trajectory. So they
yes.
called the community, and this person worked in corporate, and they had the opportunity, if they were bold and courageous enough, to give this young person work experience within their workplace. It didn't even have to be internship, it was just work experience, right? And the person didn't take the opportunity. And sometimes what parents as well, Ishmael, I don't know if you can mute for a second, but once sometimes when your young person, when your child is hopeless, they are rude, they are trying to push you away, that's actually the time when you need to get closer to them and you need to stop what you're doing and listen and rebuild that bond. So oftentimes in our cultures, we think the child is either 15, 16, 17, or 18, and that's it. That's it, you're grown now. Go and see what the world is like. But actually, every child is different, and some children
Yeah.
might need you to come drawing closer to them. So I say that this person didn't see that with her child, and unfortunately didn't take the opportunity to give her child a job in her workplace. And it was about a year and a half afterwards that we were at the young person's funeral. Now, I'm not blaming it on the parent. We know that our lives, when we're born and when we're gone, is all about God's timing. But what I'm saying is we have to take opportunities to bring the child closer into us. Because if you just throw them out, like Ishmael said, that parents are throwing their child out, like, go and live life, go and know what it's like to be an adult, it might not end up good, because right now times is rough, times is dread.
Yeah.
It's not like back in the day when you were young. Parents, when you were young, maybe you could get thrown out and you can go and live at someone's house, but it's not like that anymore.
No.
Even some people's houses are not, they're not good. They're not safe. So thank you, Ishmael, for today.
So I have to say
Do you know
one
what?
more thing. Another big issue
Go
is
ahead.
you have a parent who comes to you, oh, my son doesn't know what he wants to do. So you say to them, yeah, I'm on the thing, sorry. Hold on 1 minute.
Ishmael from the Salam Project is speaking. We've been speaking about young people who are at risk, young people who's not getting into jobs. They are feeling demotivated. They're feeling really sad. They're in a depressive state, and that could be for a range of reasons that we've discussed today. We discussed young people being thrown out of football clubs.
Sorry
When they
about
thought they
that.
were
Some
going to
family
be
thing.
a
So yeah.
football
So
star.
basically, yeah.
Okay.
So basically, what is the issue is, yeah, you have some people, the parents are telling you, my son wants to do plumbing. You're talking to the young person, he doesn't want to do plumbing. He wants to do musical engineering or sound engineering or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're trying to tell the parent this is what they want to do, and they're saying, no,
Yeah.
my son wants to do and be an accountant. So
Yeah.
you have parents who are pushing what
Yeah.
job they want their kids to do that the kids don't want to do.
So real. Do you know what? I'm even guilty of that with my son, to the point where I had to promise him, I will stay out of your business when it comes to your career if you promise me you will reach for the stars, and I will take a step back. Can I trust you? So I said to my son, can I trust you to do that? He said yes. And alhamdulillah, I'm really grateful that he figured out a pathway that he's going to take, which is like it's a really good pathway. But yeah, we have to allow the young person to determine what it is that they want to do, and then support them in whatever they choose to do. Ishmael, most young people change their mind like 20 times anyway. Some of them will know what they want, but most of them are just like navigating interests and topics. Sorry, 1 second, your mic is off. Let me turn it on for you. Yeah, go ahead. Can you speak? Your mic is off, Ishmael.
Yeah, it's true. Young people do change their minds often, but we need to find a balance. But when I just find it strange, sometimes you have parents who are trying to push a job onto their kids that their kids don't want to do.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure speaking to you today.
Likewise, and thank you for the great honor of allowing me to be on your podcast and your event and your show.
No, you know what? You have been our first guest, and rightly so. You have
That's the
been
greatest honor.
instrumental to what I've been doing in the last, like, since 2003, where I really, really needed help and support. So I
No
really
problem.
thank you. And please, everybody, Ishmael's details is going on the bottom, along the bottom of the screen right now. Thank you, Ishmael. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, bye.
Your family is blessed.
Love to everyone. Bye.
Thank you to your family for allowing them to have you with us for this small time. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. And then that is this fantastic conversation. So if you would like to be on the show, then do just kind of reach out. You can contact me on the telephone number that's going at the bottom of the screen, and you can be here to talk about the work that you do with young people. Right now we've got Zainab that's called in. Zainab, are you there?
I'm here.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Ebony. Nice to see you. How are you?
I'm very well. You are such a dear sister, and
Thank you.
I really would like to let everybody know. Now, first of all, this is not a Muslim show, okay? This show is for everybody. So it's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence that we have myself, obviously I'm Muslim, and then we have Israel, yes, who's Muslim, and then also Zainab. It's just a coincidence. This is open for everyone. We want to inform young people, inform parents, young people, and also youth practitioners of all the different opportunities that are out there. And we have now Zainab. Now, Zainab is not a youth practitioner yet. let me tell you what Zainab is doing. In the Northampton area, Zainab is using her lived experience to support parents in overcoming issues and challenges and barriers to supporting their child. Now, this sister is doing this through the love that she has for young people and communities. So she hasn't got an organisation that works with young people. She did have one that worked with adults, but we're not talking about that today. We're talking about how she's supporting the Northampton community. And I just want to say, on behalf of every single youth practitioner that is passionate and committed to what we do, I want to say thank you, and I want to say welcome to the club. Welcome to the club where you put other people first. Welcome to the club where young people are the most important thing that's on your mind. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What is it that you're really doing in Northampton? What is it that you've been doing?
Oh my God. Anyway, I don't know how to begin. First of all, thank you for having that in your thing. It has my country's national colors, yellow, red, and green.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I knew there was a reason why I wore it. There were so many, but I choose this one. Where are you from?
Uganda. And we
Oh.
are having elections on Thursday, and we had issues about flags because the opposition member was using flags to show that he minds about the people and the nationalism. And the incumbent were having issues bringing in legal things. But anyway,
Okay.
when I see the colors, then it just caught my eyes, and I said, okay, let me mention about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I've been living in Northampton for 8 coming to 9 years, and I have two boys, 16. Oh, he made 17 and 18. We came from Philippines, and it was a very different community altogether. And of course, there are a number of issues that I noticed when I came, especially among the youth, looking at what is happening. Of course, the parenting, and in fact, I should give credit to Israel. When I came in, he was talking about something which has been burning. In fact, the things he was talking about, I was just nodding my head. I'm like, that is it, you know, because these are some of the challenges we find in our communities,
they
and
really are.
we need to do something about it anyway. Encouraging the youth to go into the relevant courses, and of course, they need help.
Yeah,
I remember when my son was doing that, I didn't work experience at the college, they couldn't help,
yeah,
and they give deadline. And
yeah,
if you can't find it, they will find you some course online to do. But this is work experience. Anyway, you need to go and know how things do work. And sometimes, of course, we need people who can inspire us, plus the organizations of our own people who will understand our values and take note of it. Sometimes we have them, but when the children go there, you realize that they're also not learning much apart from continuing from what they know. Sometimes the things we know,
mhm,
they may not necessarily see what we need.
it's true.
And and
I'm listening.
so there is this thing of the youth being redundant or being too free. They don't have much activities to participate in, like sports or wherever. Of course, you have some places like the youth club, but you realize that the people or the wrong people who want to target those youth, they find them in such places. So
Hold on to what you just said, because this is why so many people have set up youth organizations, because we understand that. So say what you just said again, please.
I
Just
say
that last bit.
that we I cannot say that there are no at all places where these youth can go and spend time or spend some free time. However, in Northampton, at least the one I know, you realize that such places are also targeted by the wrong people.
And
So
sister, it's been that way since I was going to youth club. That's how I know that youth clubs aren't a safe place. I learned how to drink alcohol at youth club.
Believe
Right?
me.
So yeah, so and that was 20, 30, 35 years ago, maybe more than that. I'm showing my age. Just pretend I'm young. Yeah.
You are young, we can see.
Alhamdulillah, I'm young. I'm not that old. But yeah, no, like what you've just spoken, so you're a parent and you understand this. Yeah? Government officials, youth clubs aren't safe. Some of them are good, but the majority of them, you won't find people going to them. That's why you've got less numbers. And it's so interesting, sis, because what happens is main, like local authority youth clubs will call the community organizations to try and increase participation at the youth club. Right?
Of course,
but youth clubs receive more funding than the community organizations. Now, this is one of the reasons why I chose to have this live calling on my personal profiles, my personal social medias, because I can't say some things like this through the organization's one.
Of course.
So I'm glad that you see this as a parent as well.
Yeah,
so
for sure, it's very unfortunate because you realize that the young people are struggling, for sure. As much as the parents are struggling, the young people are also struggling because you cannot imagine having a young boy of 16 or 17 being in the house all the day or from school coming home. No, that is not good life altogether. They need to socialize. But then we have to know how safe are those places which are out there for socialization. What kind of people are there? What kind of activities are there? Who are the people who are managing them? Because you realize when the people are managing, there should be some kind of scrutiny to look what is happening around, but it is very hard.
They're supposed to be.
They are supposed to be, but unfortunately it isn't. I realize that all the grooming and, as you said, vaping or drugs or whatever, all kinds of those things we all know, they root from there. And now
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I've just there's a learning here, and this is for youth workers who are just getting into youth work, and you're working in local authority youth clubs. Please research professional courage. Okay, and that is how we can deal with challenges, issues, or interests in a professional way. Just professional courage as youth workers, as youth mentors, as youth practitioners, because we tend to be down in the pecking order. People sometimes listen to us only when they want a cool idea, only when they want an idea for sessions. But when it comes to safety or how services are fit for purpose, oftentimes we're the last one that they come to talk to. They've already made their decision. They're just talking to you to tick the box. You know what I'm saying is true. Yeah. So
and by the way, I think it could also be nice because I believe those people, they don't know most of the parents of those children who have happened. And I think it would be something responsible if they get to know, and if as a leader or a manager of such a facility, you could talk to the parent. Okay, we understand this couldn't come or this young man comes here, but there is such and such something that is happening. Please take note of it. Because for sure, parents are so busy. Sometimes they're struggling. Others are very ignorant, by the way, in our community. They're extremely ignorant that they even don't know what is out there. It is until when something happens to them, that is when they can realize or come to know, oh, this is how it is. I am unfortunate, of course, as you know, that a few things are happening in my family. However, I was taking very serious note of it. And in fact, I thank God that if I wasn't, I don't know how bad it could be. Because I've been keeping and I have been monitoring, I've been doing anything you can think of to ensure that these children are in safe hands or are doing things which are safe. But sometimes you get overwhelmed and the community really, really wins because of you can do everything. However, having had the experience, I'm very happy that I'm really, really fully committed to help other parents. And I'm very happy that I'm getting very positive response. In fact, sometimes when I get calls and I'm asked about this or that, I feel proud. I'm like, okay, that means that there are some people out there who really need our support. There are people out there who need our help. And if you have experience with something, you can you can do it passionately and compassionately and with a lot of empathy and understanding. So what I just need right now, as I told you, it is to get to be a professional because right now I do it out of my love and out of the little knowledge I have and the experience I've gone through. And but it is something really I would want to deeply get involved into and to see how we can help the our communities and the country at large.
So what issues are you seeing at the moment? And I just want to, as I say, what issues are you seeing at the moment? When we do speak about these things, obviously we maintain confidentiality. So what we're looking at is like, what are just the common things that parents are calling you about?
Yeah, first of all, of course, England is a country where we have so many migrants. In fact, we know that.
Migrants,
And of
yeah,
course, being migrants, we come from different continents, different countries with our own values
with
and
our own
norms
values. Yeah.
and cultures. And we realize that yes, it is very important that when we come here, we have to follow the British values.
But what are the British values? I know that we do the. Do you know what? Do you know what? Just even. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna let you talk. So please forgive me for
No,
interrupting.
you can come in.
No, I'm
Elaine
so caught up.
Thomas.
No. I'm gonna give you. Please carry on. I'm so
No,
caught up.
please
Go
come
on.
in because you might trigger me to say something that is very
I'm
beneficial to
I'm
everyone.
I'm being sarcastic when I say that. Sorry. Carry on. Because we have to learn the British values, isn't it? We
All
come here
the
to learn the
British
British values.
values.
Like, yes,
You know
these are
them.
our values as well. And then
The
we come in and we're like,
democracy,
British
the
people don't even have.
freedom, the liberty, and all those things.
Yeah, but then we look, we like, you, British people don't have British values. I just learned British values and I agree. I have these values too. And we come here and British people don't have these values. Anyway, carry on.
And especially nowadays when we come to equality, diversity, and inclusiveness, and all those things which are talked about. And we forget that we are dealing with people from different backgrounds. And however, to me, I think I normally say that the end justifies the means. Yeah. So we have different means we can use to get the best out of us as humanity, by the way, human beings, regardless of our color or where we come from. And at the end of the day, what we want is to see a safe country, to see a country which will make us proud to be part of, to have communities where we feel good, we feel happy about them, where everybody can be happy living in such communities. And I realize that right now people are where they are because they have to be there, but not because even they want to be there. Everybody is worried. Every parent is worried. Every parent is complaining. At least those I know close to me, by the way.
What
The
are they,
list is endless.
what
You
are they
can go
complaining
into it.
about?
They are complaining of giving the children too much freedom, too much choices. Yeah, because too much of everything for the children. By the way, sometimes I just look and I'm like, and everything has a word or a term, abuse or negligence or violation or whatever. And then you realize where do we stand also as parents to say certain things and to feel proud of our ways we are raising our children because we want to do certain things to help, but our hands are tied up. We are being disempowered in one way or another. For example, how do you tell me in this generation, in this era, that a child of 16 years old has the choice to choose who the next of kin will be or should be? Really,
The next of kin. So
the next of
this is the a massive issue for all parents when your child leaves school and as soon as they start going to college, the school will contact the child And so what that creates is, so they won't contact the parents, they'll contact the child directly. So what that creates is a gap, because the child is still at a stage where they're learning. They're learning how to be responsible. They're learning how to communicate and articulate what is needed in order to achieve something back to their parents. So you're right, there should be like when there should be like a clause where if you email the young person who's 16 and over, until they're at a point, maybe 20, maybe even 18, right? Maybe. But there's a transition where you also email and call the parent, right? I've got some parents, Auntie, we've got some parents, right, who they actually, the child's email is also their email. And I think it's just fantastic, because they already clocked on, they know how the British system is. So when the school emails the child, the parents getting it as well.
Which is ideal. However, as a parent, also you want to give some privacy to that child because they're now 17 or 18. It could be with their friends or wherever. That feeling of trust also you need to build it. Yeah. And of course, if it comes to the college, what is very not good about it is when there is, for example, homework. Yeah. Tell, yeah, you can email the student, you can email the child, no problem. Or reminding of school activity. Yes, that is teaching them to be responsible on certain things. But if there are certain issues that you think now we need to involve the parent, I think there should be. By the way, in the first place, I ask, why do we have next of kin in the first place? That is when there is, for example, an emergency, when there is an issue. But if you allow this child now to choose who it should be, what are you giving this child? We
Yeah,
have
because they might
issues,
just give their best friend.
definitely, but is that best friend going to really be helpful? And what kind of advice or whatever? I will give you an example. My own child was suspended, but it was from the beginning. He started the college. I was there. I looked for the tutor, the head of the department, and I emailed her, and she told me about it. And I was like, okay, I can imagine if parents have a student has different custodians, maybe grandpa, grandma, mom and dad, and they have separated, okay. But still that child should be choosing from those people who are responsible or they're the
Yeah.
custodian. But if as a college you take anybody, you don't even do a follow-up to know who is this person this child has given as the next of kin, that is very wrong. When I tried to follow it up, they refused. I even said, okay, who is that? And by that time, my friend was 17. Who is that person? They refused. And I was discussing with my child. Anyway, after like they spoke with him, 2 days, they didn't even give him a warning. They suspended him, if not expulsion. They told him not to go back to that college. Now, 1 whole year he's there. He was in shock. By the way, he's mentally disturbed with that decision they made. And now he's doing nothing. And now, then I asked myself, why don't we try to avoid all this? Because in this process of this child doing nothing, what is the college benefiting? What is the community benefiting? What is the parent benefiting? What is the child benefiting? Are they trying to push them that way? And I said, if they had given me the opportunity, the parents who care, they should be given opportunity to care for their children. Because if I had known that now this okay, he has not been attending the way they want him to attend, I would have talked with him. And by the way, if the children know, or the student, they know that the school or the college liaise very well, they're in good contact with my parents, believe me, there are certain things they cannot do. I've also experienced that.
No.
And that is the reason why they should also choose friends, because they know, yeah, we don't want to be disturbed. But then what is our responsibility as parents? To be disturbed, to make follow-up, to support, to guide.
Note to any young person that is watching this: when your college or your university asks for a next of kin, don't give your best friend, right? Give your
Please
caregiver,
do.
because you don't know what can happen next. And also, it's a sign of responsibility and maturity. So the colleges, the sixth form, the different employers that take on young people, they really should understand that this is a transition stage, because some young people will go into college or sixth form and they won't meet the standards required, and then they get suspended or excluded. So during that stage, there should be more leeway, and also you should have like a next of kin, a caregiver, parent caregiver, that is able to come in to talk through next steps with the young person to help them secure their education. Because the government, Zainab, have said that all young people must stay in education, employment or training until the age of 18 years old. That law changed over 10 years ago, right? So if that is the law, why do some colleges make it hard for young people to integrate into the system and the new way? Everyone's got to be singing from the same song sheet. Us parents, we want our children to do well. Government wants the children to do well. So why is it that there's these gaps? And this is what we call the traps. When you speak about many of the parents that you support, that you have ringing you and complaining, they're migrant parents, right? And I think every migrant parent, when they come to England, we need to sit down and have a conversation about the traps that your child can fall through.
There's so many.
Learn about the British values, learn about the traps your child can fall through. I beg. Speak to someone that's been in England for over 2 decades. Not 10 years is not enough. 2 decades. 20 years or more. Speak to them about the realities of life here in the UK, and they'll show you a pattern that has been here from, right? From the
100% agree with you. Because if you don't know, if you have not experienced it, believe me, you will never even imagine.
You will never imagine the traps and the dangers that these traps.
I remember my mom, she was here, she died in 2020 here in Northampton. But she was more than 30 years. But there was a time we used to talk and we used to laugh and we're like, I think our mom is getting paranoid. Mom is getting scared. I remember the first time we came with my kids, she was asking them about certain things. Don't do this when you hear this. And we're like, oh my God, Mom is getting really sick. I swear to you, now every day, I say, God bless that woman. Because if I had even listened to her, because she had got to know the system, as you said, ask those people who have been here. They will take you through the journey. Because I know by the way she went through a lot of hell with my young brother who is now in London, in Hackney. But it was not easy. In fact, she had to take that boy back to Africa. But that boy now is like 27. He's like, oh, I thank God Mom took me there, because if he didn't, by now I don't know I would be.
I'll be honest with you, the most wisest of my friends has allowed their child to go to, the child has left primary school and is back home doing studies, and then they plan for the child to come back for college or university.
By then they are really stable.
I'm not advocating for it if you haven't got safe places for your child to live back home. But what I am saying is, I think that when our parents come here to the UK, when we come here to the UK, we've heard such amazing things about England, about Germany, about France. We've heard amazing things. This is the developed world. Right? It's one thing that Trevor Noah said, the comedian Trevor Noah. He said the more developed a country is, the less community you have. And we need, and our children need community. So one thing is get yourself a community. And please, I beg you, no, right? Make sure that within your community, there's also people that have been here for more than 20 years. And Zainab, this is where now you see the split and a divide. I don't think it's a real divide. I think it's just talk. And I think it's just TikTok and social media. But there's seemingly a divide between Caribbean people and people coming from the continent of Africa. Right? Because our family, Caribbean, and my family's from Jamaica. Our families have been here since the
Since
the
you don't know.
50s, the 50s, right? So I'm the third generation, but for some people, it'll be fourth or fifth generation. I'll be here, that we've been through the systems. And also, there are also people from different, like we've got the Asian continent, we've got India, Pakistani, Bangladeshi. They've been here since the 50s. And we should all be coming together to say, how can we protect our children? Because there are some serious traps, and the traps are impacting us all.
And by the way, I remember when I was communicating with the enrollment director at the college, because she got involved. In fact, that is where it had reached. Because when I went and they told me it was legal, I told them, okay, we meet in court since it is legal. Before I knew, she called me. I think they told her
You said
that
to her, because it's legal, you'll meet court.
not even her. I went to the reception and I because I was begging to know what was happening and everything. And then they told, oh, by the way, you know, it is legal for a child to have 16 years. I'm like, what? I asked that lady who told me, these ones who will even wake up to go to college are the ones who give that choice to choose. No way. You know, I said, anyway, if it is legal, we meet in court. I
Yeah,
think they got
because
concerned. And
yeah, I understand why they.
and then before I knew, I was contacted by the director of enrollment. We had a good talk by then, and we agreed on a few things, but they were supposed to say, okay, but we cannot take him, even if, so it will be next year. By the way, he did try this year, and they told him to wait. By the time they replied, they're not giving him, it was already 1 week or 2 weeks before the college started, and it was intentional, you know. However, we were in a discussion with her, and she was giving all the funniest excuses. Anyway, I told her my last statement was that it is okay. You can think the way you think and you can do the things we're doing, thinking that it is only us who are being affected. But this problem, if we don't solve it all together, it is going to impact everybody, every family, including all of you and your families and the country at large. And this is what we are saying. Because as we see, for example, these knife crimes or whatever, it was these things were in our black communities. And why did it not end? Because it didn't matter too much to other people. But right now, as I talk, it doesn't matter. Black or white or what, everybody's
Everybody's
suffering from it.
suffering. That's why
Drugs,
they've got a
everybody's
national
suffering.
youth strategy that is being looked at the moment. This is a government. We've also got the Children and Wellbeing Bill that is hoping to improve education. I don't know, like when people are thinking, oh, let me come to England. I don't know if you know that we are like one of the worst countries for education in Europe, right? And then it's also been announced in
I know.
Parliament just yesterday that the Justice Committee is launching an inquiry into youth custody. That is custody where you have young people going up to the age of 18 in prison. So they're going to be looking at that. There's lots of changes that hopefully we'll see it on the ground, but these changes take time.
Take time, and by the way, I realize that there is a lot which is on paper than being implemented. For example, I discussed something with the MP of my area, and I talked about even the use of phones and even
Yeah.
in schools and all those things. And she was like, yeah, there is I think a law, by the way, which the parliament came with, and I think students should not have in schools, primary and secondary school, they should not schools, they should not have phones
They
at
should not
all.
have
I'm
phones.
like, okay. And then your mobile phones, and she said, according to the Children's Commission, something, they show that almost more than 98% it was working. It is not working. All these two will go with them. And why? Because even these policies or these laws, when they are made, they should be enforced and they should be facilitated. But if you say that it should happen, and in schools there are no locals to put the phones in, and you expect a 12 or 13 or 15-year-old student don't use your phone in class and the phone is in
Yeah,
his
some
pocket. Really?
in Hackney, we have some tough academies in Hackney, and then like you've got St Albans, who have banned phones in schools up until the age I think of 15. Um, phone usage. It is a massive problem for everyone all around, and I would say parents, look at yourself first, how you're using your phone, because child will learn how to use the
Exactly.
phone by what they see you doing.
Discipline.
They will literally practice
Mm-hmm.
habits on what they see you doing.
Mm-hmm.
Zainab,
That's very true.
I just want to go over some of the complaints that you said parents are having, right? And I just want to kind of guide parents as well, based on what we've discussed today and what is available out there. So you said there's a lot of migrant parents that are complaining. They feel like they don't have freedom in how they raise their child, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the choices, there's
Mm-hmm.
too much choice out there for children. There's too much choice out there for adults as well. It's overwhelming. We are, there's so much choice that people get so confused and they get anxious as well. So, and then there's
Mm-hmm.
something that you kind of hinted at, but you didn't go into it more, but it is, how can we express and also live our culture here in the UK? Because our culture is like bread and water, right? It's bread and water for us. How can we express and live our culture? And parents feel dispowered. Every single parent that is listening, if you haven't done safeguarding training, safeguarding children and young people, if you haven't done safeguarding training, do it. You can find it free online, because then you will know the standards of parenting which this country expects from us. You know, sometimes I've heard people say some parents should have a license to be a parent. So I'm putting the accent on, right? Some people say some parents should have a
Really?
license. But what I would say is every parent should check out what the law says about parenting or what the standards are for parenting in any country that they go to. So there's something called safeguarding training, and you get it level 1, level 2. And when you check out the safeguarding training, you will see where the line crosses, right? What is seen as good parenting, safe parenting, and what crosses the line to the point where social services will come knocking on your door.
But my question is about that, by the way. First of all, naturally, who is a parent?
It's a caregiver.
Natural.
So
Because even
no,
animals, believe me, even a pussycat, even a
Hey, what do you
dog,
mean?
they know that
Wait. What do you mean? Say that again.
we as human beings, yeah, we don't have to be taught to be parents. That is something natural. By the time God has given you that child, you love that child. And by the way, in most cases, the suffering is too much in countries where you think, okay, people have to do certain things. But especially here, we in communities where we go to GPs, we go to schools, there is a lot of safeguarding means around
Yes.
us. But now what we need as parents is to let us to love our children the way we want to
Yes.
love them. And second, to let us understand our children the way we understand them, and we treat them the way we
So,
understand them. Because for them, what the government
yes.
does,
Please.
Elaine, they assume that everybody is
Everyone
this.
say,
That is not
I,
true. No shoes fit everyone size, no
you know,
size. Because me, when I treat my child in a certain, I know, believe me or not, by the way, this may sound rude, but for us like Africans, we cannot be like treated the way the Europeans are treated, especially when the children are growing up. We need to have that tough hand sometimes. We need to have that tough
so
skin. And at the end of the day, we want to get the good results. And by the way, in most cases, the good
so
results are there.
let me um gently challenge you on something. Right.
Mm.
When the children go through the education system here, they get safeguarding
Mhm.
training. They're told about safeguarding and staying safe in primary school, and they're told multiple times in secondary school. Parents typically get a letter home when these safeguarding workshops or assemblies are happening. But you have children of migrant parents who are being informed of what the standards, the quality of parenting which the government expects. But parents aren't getting that information. So what you'll see is, yes, do your culture. Listen, our culture is our bread and water. It's how we survive. But at the same time, look to see what the standard is for the country you're in so that you can stay within those lines. Otherwise, social services will be knocking on the door if the child or some other significant adult feels like you've crossed the line. So it's about preventing. It's about kind of navigating the law here in the UK. And this is what I said about that British values exam that we have to do. Do the British values exam. Yes, you get your visa, you're here. Alhamdulillah. Do safeguarding training as well, I beg. Just do safeguarding training as well. So safeguarding children. Because then you'll see even what some of the safeguarding training will be telling people to watch, look out for. What will people, when I'm taking my child to school, I want to know what you're looking at from me. And it's there, you can get it for free. I can show you now, so many websites, you can just get this safeguarding training for free. And I tell you, one of the reasons why I think prevention is better than cure. I have seen social services intervention, social services, just the knock on the door, tear families apart because it's so stressful.
Believe me, it almost happened. They are very young people, no children, and it was a very minor thing. But believe me, it took the whole year. In fact, they have decided even to leave the country. Just it was a very minor thing. And I was in one or two meetings. The first meeting, we had a very nice lady. I think it's there in Chesington. It's called Child something. I've forgotten the name. And the lady was listened back. They called the teachers of the school. They came, they checked everything in the house, the food, the fridge,
toilet,
the
the
bed,
bathroom.
everything. It was a minor thing.
They'll
And
open
it
your
involved
fridge
other
and look in the
children.
fridge to see what food you got there. They'll look at the bathroom.
The husband is the breadwinner, very young couple. He almost lost a job because they were even telling me they told him they're going to put on his DPS. I told him, don't even dare to accept that. Anyway, at the end of almost the whole year of stress, of what the children were stressed. By the way, it even impacted on that same child.
Absolutely.
Because the child, it is me who brought the trouble in the house. In fact, the young brother who is 6 was like, you are not good. You almost made daddy to lose this. Do you know that boy, by the way, was a very brilliant boy, and it killed his confidence. He killed him. I could look at that and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Anyway, at the end of it, because we tried really to fight it and they could not find anything. But for 1 year, that family was with
because
all
even
of us.
if a child is in need, so the child might not be deemed at risk, but the child might be assessed as in need. Like there's more support.
It was really
even that
because
itself,
and he wanted at school.
It's a heavy judgment on your life. It's a heavy judgment on the children. It's a heavy judgment on the parents, and you can feel the judgment in way. And I'm talking from lived experience with somebody that I know went through this process with them, and it's just a heavy judgment. It's toxic. It's like a poison has entered into the house, and then you can't clear it out. So.
But I think it is exaggerated. So many things are exaggerated here. Exaggerated in the name of freedom, in the name of liberty, in the name of.
But Zainab, the exaggeration that you're speaking about is the cultural differences. This is what I'm saying. Have you done because I think you've done safeguarding adults, isn't it?
A million times. I don't even know what we are safeguarding these children from ourselves.
So you've done safeguarding training for adults, right? Have you done safeguarding training for children? You have.
Yes.
So if you do this, because you've done the safeguarding for children and young people, imagine now a parent coming to England. They've just got there. They've just come through Gatwick or Manchester. They've just come through the airport. one of the first things that they do is
Mm-hmm.
safeguarding training. Why? Because you've got to know the law, understand the law.
Yeah, but Elaine, here we are talking about children who are even born
It
here.
doesn't matter.
These safeguarding issues or
Where's my
what?
passport? Sometimes I walk with my passport. Zainab, you see the first page of the passport. Do you know what it says? When we get that book,
Mm,
it used to be a purple book, now it's a
mm-hmm.
blue book. And
Not even
it's black
dark
or dark.
black.
Yeah, maybe it's black. I can't remember. I've seen it in different lights.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
says inside that we are subjects of the king. So
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter what our culture is. We are now subject. I'm a subject of the king, right? Which
Okay,
means
great.
that we need to inform ourselves so that we can navigate what they say is standards and what we, because some things we can flex and some things we can do later or some things we can do earlier. Some things we can sit down and have a conversation with our children and be like, listen, this is what I was raised with and this is what our culture does. And the reason why I say this conversation is important because we don't want to take them too far away from the culture. So you say, this is what I was born with, this is what our culture does, this is
Balance.
how we're going to adapt it for the British environment.
Mm-hmm.
But don't think that you're no longer Jamaican, you're a Jamaican child, right? You're
That's
here in
true.
Britain, but guess what? If you take a chicken egg and it hatches in a pig pen, is that chicken a pig? Or is there still a chicken? So the children, as they come here, they're still from the places where we're from. But we have to kind of lay out, it's a new land, it's a new landscape. The community is
But for sure, Elaine, yeah, sorry to cut you. By the way, personally, I'm on that line of we must adapt. In fact, I'm a person who say when you go to Rome,
oh, I've
become
not got that
Roman.
far. That's too
Become
far.
another. No, totally. No. That's saying, of course, like, yes, we have to know where we come from, but we have to understand that where we are, they also have their own. And you are by the way, you are the one who came here. So you have to integrate, in fact. But I agree, we should learn good things and we leave the bad
I'm
things. Of
not.
course, having our cultures doesn't mean that everything in our culture is good. No, certain
You've
things are
misinterpreted
horrible.
me though.
But then when you think about it, you get goosebumps. You are like, oh my God, this is wrong. However, my question is what we all want is a peaceful country, a safe country, or community, or wherever. So we can also, wherever we are, we should try to integrate the good
From
values, yeah,
everybody. But I wasn't,
from
yeah.
everybody. Because at the end of the day, okay, we have been having English values, British values. What have they ended up
Well, this is
replacing?
the
Everything.
thing, because when you said we should be doing the good, you kind of I heard
Yeah.
you kind of put a judgment on it. When I'm speaking about doing a safeguarding training, I'm not saying that the way we parent is bad. I'm not saying
I
that
understand.
because I've seen different types of parenting from different cultures. What I'm saying is understand what the law says about parenting standards. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you were to drive a car without a driver's license, without the driving tests, not the driving tests, the driving lessons, and you drive a car and you drive, you got the line, you got the lanes, and you start driving from one lane to the other. You're like this. You're not staying in the lane. The police car behind you will pull you over.
But I might have a reason why I'm doing that. Do they have to ask me first?
No.
By
What
the
I'm
way,
trying
why
to
do
say,
we have
no.
law?
Please, because this Zainab,
Why do we have
you
laws?
announced when you came in. You
Yes.
announced that you want to be a youth worker or you want to be a youth practitioner, right? We have to know the law. And one thing about us youth practitioners and yourself, you'll find yourself, because I know you've done a lot of this already, but you'll be continuously going back to education law, education policy, equal opportunities and inclusion policies. You'll go to the Race Relations Act. You will be looking at Employment Act. I'm telling you, just for one young person who is finding it hard to navigate. For example, something might happen at work, right? Someone's being racist towards them at work. They come home, they're vexed, they want to leave the job. Yeah, as a youth practitioner, we don't tell them, yeah, leave, man, you'll find something else. No, we explain to them how to navigate that by understanding the law, understanding the workplace policies and procedures in like making a complaint to HR. How do you do that safely? Not by their policies, but by what we've learned within our culture. Because most of us know, and I'm looking into the camera, most of us know that if we make a complaint about racism in the workplace, it can also do us some damage. So how do you do that in a way where the people who are causing the issue, the repercussion goes on them, not us. So what I'm saying, going back to safeguarding issues, or not safeguarding issues, how we parent in the UK, we can just really have an easier time if we do safeguarding training. And sometimes it's just 2 hours. It's 2
That is
hours.
very good. It's very good really to do that and to know, because it is for everybody's benefit. However, any law that it does not bring in positive impact is not a good law.
Yeah,
I know rules are
absolutely.
there, policies are there. And by the way, any law that does not change according to circumstances or situations is not a
What's that,
good law.
sorry? The law that...
Any law that does not change to solve certain problems or to tackle certain situations is not good law.
Well, the
Laws
law,
have to change.
the law has changed. The Children's Act has changed a few times. I think the last time, if I'll actually go to it so that I'm not.
Yes, but now my question always is, why is it that we're having troubles that have been there for 20 years, for example, and we don't see positive results? Okay, maybe the results are very little, or there is none, or even the problem is going hard. That means there is an issue with whatever laws that are in place.
So the last time the act was changed, I think was 2014. But there's always like amendments to laws. So that's the Children's Act, and out of the Children's Act we get safeguarding children.
There are so many things anyway. And as you have said, for example, custody, you find that I remember reading the Minister of Justice, or she's even a lady, when she was saying, they were saying the prisons, they are all full. In fact, she used the word, they even put in quotes, it is they are busting.
They're burst.
Why are they busting? We have safeguarding things in place. We have the British values. Why is this happening? Year after year, we see things worsening. That is the reality. That means we have to go back to the drawing board. There are certain things that have gone wrong.
Yeah.
If need be, let these British values change, and we integrate other values to make things work. Because people are here. We cannot ban British laws when they're even allowing people. I remember the president, Macron, president of France, during COVID there, he said, Britain, stop attracting migrants, and they were complaining, of course, about migration and everything. If you allow any visitor or anybody to come to you, then you should be able to welcome that person and to be hospitable and to listen to that person also, so that you can live harmoniously.
Yeah, but you can't do that in racist systems. And
But
this is the thing.
and by that is another topic when we begin about
No,
racism.
but it's not another topic. It's the same topic. So this is why I'm saying parents, because there's so many layers to it, but at the structure, the foundation, the drawing board of it is racist systems. And the whole of the UK knows this. The whole of the UK was built on racist systems, racist
If you
structures.
say about UK, what about Netherlands? Have you
Well,
read the
the thing
history of
is,
South
but
Africa?
The Netherlands have changed their judicial system about a decade ago. So the Netherlands have less people going into prison right now. I don't know if
Yeah,
you know
you're
that.
right. It comes to
They have
prison.
less.
Yes.
They even
Even
have to close some of their prisons
they're
and turn them
renting
into
them to
housing.
Belgium.
Yeah.
They rent
So
them for Belgians.
right. So we, there's
Liberal.
it takes a very bold and secure government to look at the structural issues and say we're going to change this. And I don't know if England is secure. I think the British government is insecure. I feel like they're in a really difficult place and they're trying their hardest to navigate everything and prioritize what needs to be prioritized, which means that some things go down to the bottom, and they're just coming out of, even before COVID. Like, I'm giving British government some grace. That's all I'm saying, because it's hard enough to manage a household, let alone a whole country. But at the same time, if they dealt with their structural racism, a lot of the issues they won't have. They'll be spending less money.
That's the root cause.
It's the root cause for so much. And the structural issues that they have doesn't just impact people of colour. It impacts every single body.
Of course, it is the history. It is repeating itself because they are scared of losing colonies. They are scared of losing us. They have so many, and right now people are going, anyway, we are going into the politics, but anyway, we leave it. And I love it. That is what makes all this thing we have.
So, as soon as you come to the UK, know that you're walking on racist structures. We're working in racist structures. Our children are being educated in racial structures. Like, everything. There's a Netflix show called Everything's to Do with Slavery. Like, it's a Netflix show, right?
But now, Elaine, you know what I think it is? It is, advocacy is very important.
Yeah.
And when you look at, we can give an example of recent Black Lives Matters and other things. If you look at where we are coming from the slavery times in the 90s and 80s, a lot is changing, but it is not changing just coming by itself or naturally. People come up, people talk about it, people rise, people advocate, people campaign. So if there are certain issues which we feel that no, this has to change for the betterment of our and sanity of our country and communities and families, we need to talk. We need to talk about it. We need to see how do we change them, because these people who make the laws, by the way, they are very far from the reality. It is me and you who live in the community who feel this pain.
And that's why I wanted to speak to you today, because if any youth practitioner is watching this, or if anybody with, is a key decision maker, or it's really good to hear from parents like yourself and to understand what's going on. Like, for example, somebody out there, whomsoever you may be, please write a book for parents who come here to the UK. Like, from our experiences, people who've been here for decades, give them the experiences, give them the how-tos and the tips and the tricks. The tricks as well, right? Right? In how to succeed. Because you've got the American dream, but there's also this British dream. People come from far because they want to be economically secure. They want to give their children a chance. And it is devastating and heartbreaking to see our children fall through traps and gaps. It is heart-wrenching. And I'll tell you why. For anyone that's watching you might not be from like a dark skin background, right? We actually made the conscious decision to leave, but we could have put that same effort into our own country. But we all come, whether by hook or by crook, or whether by war or by choice, whether by applying for a visa to study or a visa to work, right? We make the choice to come here, and most of us don't feel like guests. We feel like home. I don't know, like, you think we're coming with war. We're not. We just want peace. We're peaceful people. So it is very difficult. But I really can't wait for you to take your youth practitioner journey and to speak to more youth practitioners. There are lots of youth organisations in Northampton. And I don't just mean the local authority ones, I mean not-for-profit ones.
No, for sure. In fact, I was speaking at the mosque, and I was telling them what do they do for the youth, because during my journey of where I have been, I realized I got so many parents complaining that they were not getting any support around and no youth organizations. And when I asked, of course, they always complain about the funding and everything, which is understandable. But on the other hand, I think we need people to inspire us, and we need to join hands to have a voice. And of course, we should not underestimate the fact of language barrier for some people who come here from countries which are not English speaking, that the parents struggle a lot to express themselves.
Yeah.
And really, and of course, it is still our culture, by the way, that some people don't want to talk what is happening. In
Yeah.
my town, I realized that many homes are grieving, many homes are in pain,
Yeah.
but you don't see them coming out. You don't hear them come to talk about it. It's until when something has happened that, oh, it has happened to this one, here it happened to me, it has, I'm struggling, I'm this. But there are no organizations or forums where people can come openly to express themselves and maybe to get to where they want to get. I was speaking to police and the senior lady. She was like, okay, we can maybe organize some seminars or Zoom or wherever where they can talk to the parents. And by the way, another thing I realized also, we need action. To tell the truth, they make even some organizations, but the talking is much than the action.
Yeah. You need action.
We need action.
The talking
Because
is
if
the
you say, okay, we can help. I remember I had that issue of social workers, by the way, coming to me. Believe me, there was a time, I think that was even my last message, and that lady, she never even came back. I was like, okay, every day you come, you talk, you laugh, you joke with the boys. Okay, that's very good, interesting. Then what next? Because if you come and if you think you have seen something, for example, about a child, what is the way forward? What is the action plan? We are going to do this, we are going to do this, we are going to do this. But if you don't do anything, and you are just talking, and you are just talking 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, for me, even as a parent, I don't know where is it going to go. Yeah. Or if, for example, there is anything that a child, let's say a child is seen to be associating himself or herself with people who are in drugs or knife crime or whatever, what should be done immediately? If there is a certain kind of training which that child should get, they should put them into that. But they will just be there and be there and talk and leave the child and nothing is happening. I'm telling you things I've seen. And I'm like, okay, what is the action? Because this is a serious thing. For example, they have caught a child with a knife, let's say, and some drugs. Then what?
yeah, but
They will give warning.
they don't most statutory services when it comes to
Mhm.
young people and violence and crime and county lines, and they don't actually know what to do, because so they will have lots of policies and procedures and frameworks, but then you have the member of staff, and the member of staff might be nervous, they might not feel confident, they might not have the right equipment and resources, they might not be the decision maker. So even when they're coming to a young person, they can't even tell you if these next steps or opportunities are actually available. And then at the same time, you have most statutory organizations, and this is important, is underfunded, right? So you have really tight budgets. Even social services. Social services will come into your life, they'll tell you A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. But then when it comes to them actually making action to make changes, there's no budget. They can't actually do anything. The only thing they're doing is what you could do. Go online, research.
And sometimes
They give you a link for something.
because of the procedures, they make it too procedure, you know.
But no, but this is in that is England. Welcome to England. It's bureaucratic systems, and
Oh
there's a lot.
God.
But this is the reason why we need lots of community youth organisations. So here's a call out. We have Zainab here. Zainab is a community. She's a parent. She's a community leader. She's supporting loads of families and parents in Northampton. If you know of any Northampton-based organisations, or if you want to set one up, please do get in contact with the Mentoring Lab, because we've got 1 foot in Northampton, 1 foot in Hackney, and 1 foot in the continent of Africa. Like literally, our foot just grow big and wide and spread across the whole of the continent, right? We've also got another foot, which means we have 4 feet in Jamaica. So it's just like, just try and get in contact with us, because you guys that are outside of London, you deserve to have as many youth mentoring or many youth organisations as London does. And I keep saying, every single ward in the country should have a youth mentoring organisation, right? Every single ward in the country. Before you go, there's an organisation that helps masjids to set up youth mentoring. So youth clubs and youth organisations. They're called Here for Youth, okay? And they hereforyouth.org, and they set up. I'm putting it down the bottom of the screen. Hereforyouth.org, and they set up youth initiatives, youth frameworks in mosques across the country. They already have. This is why I was looking down at my phone, so please forgive me earlier. It looked like I wasn't listening, but I was. But they've already set up like 104 youth initiatives in mosques around the whole country. That's in 104 mosques. So please do reach out to them. That's hereforyouth.org.
Thank you very much. Definitely.
Sister, I'm sending you safeguarding training.
Thank you very much.
Send it to your parents. No, seriously, send it to your parents, because I think it just when you come in my home, I'll be like, please take off your shoes. I know if I come to your house, and I will set the standard for how things work. Like, you'll know, right? And we come into this country, we just need to know what the rules are.
I told you when Rome become a Roman, and you say that's an extreme. That is, let's no, we are going to become Romans. And
No. We're not becoming Romans. We're not. We're just understanding.
We are becoming
the
British.
rules. No, sister, don't. You're making me sad. No, we're not going to become Rome. I mean, look.
We have to eat sausages and beans in the morning, you know, and egg and
well,
the British breakfast.
Well,
Anyway,
I don't know, because the Jamaican breakfast.
What do you eat?
We could have ackee and saltfish with some hard food, or
in the morning.
or stewed chicken. Or stewed chicken.
They will tell you, if you give that to your child, that is the way.
No, that's good.
If you give that to your child and the child says that to school, they will call you.
No, they won't. No.
The diet of the child is not good.
Please, I beg, stop giving your children cereal for breakfast. If there's one thing I would say, do not pick up, is giving your child cereal.
Then they are going to give us safeguarding.
The first thing we do when you have the nice cereals, you have the frozen food and fish. No, don't do the frozen food. Don't do processed food.
Us safeguarding. By the way, there is even parenting course. I remember my
course?
In that trouble. Parenting course, by the way.
Yes, do parenting course and buy parenting books. Why not? Be the best version.
But believe me, my sister looks like them. In fact, there was one social worker who came. He's very young. He doesn't have children. He has never even been in that field.
He's never been married. He doesn't know anything.
Nothing. And then my sister asked, and she's young, but she said, "Are you married? Do you have children?" "No, I don't have." I said, "So what are you doing here? What have you come for?"
We are very, but the reality is these are statutory organisations, so we have to do parenting courses. Sister, there's nothing wrong with. Listen, I'm going to tell you something, and this is streaming live. I haven't been married before. And I bought myself a book on how to be a good wife. And I'm not even married. I wanted to prepare. No. I'm not married. But I want to prepare myself.
Read a book to understand.
Yeah, so why can't you read a parenting book if I'm reading a book about how to be a wife?
But you don't know. You're just reading. Theoretically, yes, you get it. But practically, it may be different.
But you take the theory, you turn it into practice.
Sometimes you succeed, sometimes not. Anyway.
Zainab, I want you to pass your...
Anyway, to learn.
I want you to pass your youth practitioner exams. So please do.
I get you. Thumb up. I have to pass.
No, no, you're
Pass my
doing like you're
exam.
no on a real. You're doing really well, really
Thank you
well.
very much, Elaine, and I really thank you very much for the work you are doing for in all the communities. And we appreciate that you are really expanding so rapidly for a good cause. And I'm very very happy, by the way, to be part of the mentoring lab, and I want to 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 deepen my being there, to
We
become an advocate and
will
to do really good work
we'll make it
through
happen.
mentoring lab.
Exactly like Hera. But just to let you know, I'm not doing enough at the moment. We need to do more. And this is one of the things I'm like, let me share this knowledge with parents directly on the social medias. Everybody's on social media. Hopefully parents will gain something from this. And thank you so much for your time, and thank you to your family for allowing us to have you for over an hour. It's been now. We would definitely like to have you on again, especially like once you've done all your trading and you come back. It would be nice to have that conversation as well. But
Definitely.
no, sister,
I hope I'll not be speaking Chinese, yeah?
no, no,
I
you're
need to speak the same language. Mhm.
you will learn the terminologies, and
Mm.
there's loads of different laws that you'll have to understand. Like Ishmael, that I was speaking to earlier, he was in banking before he got into youth work, so I
Mm.
know there was a lot of things that he had to learn as well. But the more we learn, the more information we can give to communities, and the more they
That's
can
very good.
be safe. We just
But
want
of
everyone
course,
to be safe.
again, we need to be advocates. Yeah, we are not going to just follow what is there
No, but does
because
it?
the laws are
No,
there. No, we have
no,
to challenge
absolutely
those
not.
laws, especially if we see that there is there are gaps.
The
Yeah.
structural, the structural, the structural issues. Zainab,
Mm.
absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely. You'll be
Mhm.
like the iRobots. Have you seen that film iRobot where you got he's a man, but then his arm is like the robot, so he can go and fight the robots.
Mhm. We are going to fight the robots. I'm going to I'm going to join you in fighting the robots. And I'm very ready, by the way. Very ready.
So let's get you on the training courses, and
Definitely.
alhamdulillah. I thank you so,
Definitely.
just like Lahira, thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming.
yeah.
I
Thank you so
really
much.
appreciate you. You're doing
Thank you so
amazing
much.
work. May
Thank you so
may
much.
God bless you and make you stronger, because I know parents will be on the phone to you till late at night complaining to you.
And
So
by the way, this did I can't leave this. Yeah. Fathers, if there are any fathers here, you are making us lose a lot. You have to be actively involved in parenting and you have to be supportive because
okay,
that is another issue we have in communities.
sis, let's do this, and I'm gonna give the responsibility to you. Let's get a training pack, like different free courses that parents can do, both the man and the woman, and the husband and the wife, the man and the woman. Let me tell you what I've seen from some men. When you come into this culture, a lot of so women will get up and they'll find themselves trying to integrate themselves in the community. Where's my people at?
Quick.
Where's my people at? Yeah, I need to get this in
Oh,
place. But
mm-hmm,
men will sit down and they will try and figure it out.
mm-hmm,
Sometimes they go and sit at the side, but they're trying to figure out, how do I, as a black man or a man not from England, fit into all of this, because it's chaotic, it's not organized, it's disorganized, the culture's different. Apparently, just because of my height or just because of the color of my skin, I'm not welcomed. Like, they feel it, right?
mm-hmm.
Right? So they sit back to the side, and that can take years before they come out. Years, sis.
Mm.
So I don't want to talk about racism again, but I want to talk about racism again. It's remembering.
I wish we could do
No,
without it.
what I'm gonna say is, unfortunately, when we come to this country, we're black people. So when you're in Jamaica, you're Jamaican. You're not black,
Mm-hmm,
you're Jamaican,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
When you're from Sudan, you're Sudanese. You're not black. But as soon
mm-hmm.
as you step into this country,
You are black,
you're
period.
seen as black, and there's so many negative connotations to that. So what I'm saying is, as a man from outside the UK, there's lots and lots of different things that is holding them back, and they just need to figure it out. But once they figure it out, then they will rise up and you'll see them doing the parenting.
But are they doing
I have
it?
so much grace for our brothers, for the men.
But we need to teach them, and of course,
Well, let's get training.
But then I like the British values if we come to that.
Should we do a training pack for people from overseas based on the British values?
Oh,
that helps people navigate this year system.
Mm-hmm.
We call it in Jamaica, the Rastaman call it Babylon.
Ah, don't tell me the Rastaman. I love the Rastaman.
Let's do some drumming.
Yeah.
No, but really, sis, I'm serious. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm. We're going
Let's
to
do a training pack together, and then we can just share it online for free.
No problem.
Inshallah.
May God guide us.
Yeah.
And may God protect all of us, our country, our communities, our people, and everyone. What we need is a peaceful world, in fact. But it begins from our homes, to our communities, to our regions, to the country at large. So whatever small thing we do, it makes a difference.
And let me tell you something. The smallest thing we can all do really makes a difference. We don't know the ripple effects. So what you're doing with parents, well done. And I just really want to say that every time I talk about what's happening here in England, I'm thinking about what's happening outside in the world. I'm thinking about Gaza. I'm thinking about Sudan. I'm thinking about Congo. Right? We have to do this for us all.
Exactly. By the way, that's why I was saying we do it begins here, but it is for the whole world. For the whole world. Yeah, thank you so much, really.
You're welcome.
We are going to do it, and let's leave people to go on tomorrow's work.
Yeah. Zainab, thank you so much. All the way from Northampton. Zainab is a parent who is supporting other parents who are trying to navigate this system. It's been a fantastic conversation, Zainab. And please don't forget what I said. For those of you who are Muslimah or you want to find out how you can support, how you can get youth initiatives, youth programs, that's a better word, youth programs into mosques, check out www.hereforyouth.org. All right.
Thank you so much. Have a very good evening.
And you too.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, guys, that is us for this week. I want to thank all of the youth practitioners and also Zainab for coming in today. Thank you, Ismail, for joining us. Thank you, Ayub, for sending us the details about your organisation Here for Youth, and thank you for Zainab. Thank you for those of you who have watched. I will be back next week. This week was our first week, and I'll be back next week, and I'll speak more about the Youth Mentoring Toolkit, which is a resource book of how to support young people through mentoring or through a mentoring relationship. And I will also speak more about some of the funding opportunities that have come out and is available for youth practitioners working with young people across the country. Do you know what? I'm really thinking more about this campaign to have a youth mentoring organisation in every single ward across the UK. Like, why not? I think that would be fantastic. So I'm going to see you next week. Stay tuned, and I will be back between 6 o'clock and 8:30 each week. Take care. Good night.